Hey everyone, Chris here with Daystate America with another video on the BlackWolf. So this isn't just a rifle, this is more of a platform. So there's so many things you can do with this rifle. It's not just buy it and be done. You absolutely can do that. But if you want to do things like change caliber, if you want to change hammer, reg, switch from left to right, ambidextrous, everything, this gun can do everything. You can make it a 30 cal high power 28 inch all the way down to a 177 17 inch. So this is just a platform to make it do whatever you want to do, or even have one gun that can pretty much do it all. So in today's video, we're going to learn how to take the barrel out, replace it with a new caliber, and then we're going to replace the hammer spring. There's several different kinds of hammer springs. Some are going to be for the higher power ones and some are going to be for the lower power ones. I currently have a 22 caliber 23 inch barrel high power on this rifle right here. And below, you'll see that I have a 177 17 inch barrel, which uses a lighter spring in the back because it's not needed for all that power. So here's the smaller spring that you see right here. So we'll be putting that installed in a second. So the first thing you have to do, because the pellet probe is going to go forward, is take this barrel out. So there is two 3mm screws on top of this. Take those out. When you take those out, you don't have to take them out completely. You can just go to there and that's totally fine, so you don't lose the screws. Pull those up a little bit, then this barrel will slide right out. Okay, so put this barrel aside. This pellet probe is for a 22. I need to replace it with the 177. So what we're gonna do is there is a 3mm up here, and I'll show you what we're gonna do with that next. So we'll take the 3mm out here, and this one we're gonna take completely out because we have to. Okay. That goes aside. Then we're going to open this up right here, all the way. Okay. On the back side here, I'll show you. On the back side, there is a little plate covering this right here. This can also be exactly how you change sides of the bolt. This is the same process. We'll do that in a later video. So for this one, we're going to keep the bolt on this side. So there's a plate right here. If you take your tool and push it in towards the back, this little plate is gonna pop out, just like that. Put it aside. Now, you will see there is a screw right in here, silver screw. That's where our 2.5mm is gonna come in. So, get it in there. And you're gonna take this screw completely out. Once that screw is completely out, put it to the side, and I'm gonna flip this back over to show you what I did. Now, taking that screw out is gonna let this be free right here. You do not need to take this screw out to get the pellet probe out. So from here, you can just kind of pull or just push like this. And this is going to go forward all the way, keep it going, and it's gonna pop out the front. And this is the pellet probe right here. So we have now taken the barrel out, pellet probe is out. We have done everything we need to do for that section. Now we're gonna go in reverse order of what we just did. So this is the 177 probe. So you'll notice there is a scallop side right here, and then there is a rounded side right here. The scallop side goes downward. So we'll put it in just like that. Push it all the way through. Now we'll have to line up these two prongs right here. If you can see in this, there's 3 holes. These 2 prongs go in the outer 2 holes, and on my side, the silver screw will go directly in the middle. So you can't choose the wrong hole. It has to only go in one. Line that up. Now that's flush. Now I'll put the screw back in with a 2.5mm. And then once that screw is in there, we're gonna put this plate back in. You'll see that there is a little ridge on one side of this, and then a hole on the other. And I'll show you how to properly put that in. So you'll put the little ridged part in first, just like this. Then you just push this in, and then the hole matches up perfectly. Use that last screw, which is a 3mm. Okay, we're done there. Now that we've put the pellet probe back in, we can get the new barrel, 17 inch 177. You can see the knurled holes right there. You put that in, And if you take the set screws out, you can actually see all the way down. So make sure it's lined up properly. Good to go there. 3mm to put them back in. We're done. So we just successfully switched from a 23-inch 22 caliber to a 177 17-inch barrel, just like that. It's really simple. That's part of the design of the platform of the BlackWolf. It's not just a singular rifle. You can make it into whatever you want to make it into. So we just changed the barrel. Now we're going to go into changing the hammer spring. To note, if you're going from like a 25 high power to a 30 high power, the spring is going to be the same. You're not going to need to change it. But since I went from a 22 high power to a 177 17-inch, I'm going to want to change the spring because the spring in here is for high powered. So let's dive into that now. So to change the spring, it's underneath here. So we're going to have to take the stock off. So this is where the T10 comes in handy. The first step you're going to do is you're going to take off the safety switch. So take this off. When you pull it out, sometimes this is going to come off. That's okay. It tells you, which way to go in. So there's only one way it can go in. So put that aside. And the last thing you need is the stock itself, which is a 5mm. Now this will come out. Okay, now that you've got the stock off, one important thing is to make sure that this is decocked before you try to take this hammer spring out. Otherwise it's going to be under tension. It's going to be really difficult to get back in there. So make sure it's decocked, which this one is. Then if it is, your screws should come out nice and easy because there's no resistance on them from that hammer spring. Okay, once you get both those out, there is two pieces that will come out. First is the housing, second is the wheel. And then we can lift this up and get that spring out. You'll notice this is a red one, which is a high power spring. Because we're now a 177 17-inch, I'm going to replace it with a lower powered spring. So now we just go in reverse of what I just did. Put this one back in. Okay. One important thing to note, there is a detent on this right here. You can see that ball detent. It needs to match up with the detent that is right here. So in that detent, this and this match. Put it in there, make them line up, just like that. Then rotate where you need to be. Now everything is back in unison. Put the screws back in, 3mm. Okay, and that's how you change the hammer spring. So now we just go in reverse order, putting everything back together. So next step was the stock. Now we can put the safety triggers back in. So I had this on safe when I took it off. So that means I need to have the same positioning when I put it back on. Otherwise, if you try to put it the wrong way, it's just not gonna fit. So get that T10 again, and that's it. So in this video, we changed the barrel from a 22, 23-inch barrel to a 177, 17-inch barrel. We changed the pellet probe from the 22 to the 177, and then we changed the hammer spring from a high power hammer spring down to a lower power hammer spring. All of that, very simple. It just shows how the BlackWolf is not just a rifle, it is a platform that you can build on. This is a gun that is going to continue growing with you on your airgunning journey. You may start out wanting to do one thing and then want to go to another. You can keep on doing whatever you need to do with one platform, which is the new BlackWolf. It's an incredible rifle, and there's so much more about this gun that makes it really exquisite and just one of a kind, and we'll continue to make videos on that. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to do the barrel change along with the hammer spring change and the pellet probe change. Look out for some new videos. Thanks. Have a great day.